All right. Hello, everybody. Thanks so much for joining in today. My name is Zanzi. Welcome to another Showcase AMA here on the Polygon Discord. Today we got a special guest. We have Prateek from Onmeta. They're a Web3 on ramp solution. How are you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing pretty well. I hope everyone's doing well as well. Uh, Thanks a lot for making time for this, and I welcome you all to this session.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Thank you for your time. Really happy to have you here. So I always like to kick these off doing some introductions. So why don't you tell us a bit about like what your backstory is, what were you doing before crypto, and what got you into the space?
Sure, yeah. I'm actually a newbie in the Web3 world. I've joined OnMeta as the head of business a couple of months back, and prior to this, I have extensive experience scaling some of the best Web2 companies to come out of India. So, as part of the early team at Flipkart, Rapido, as well as most recently, I was leading product strategy at Ola. Um, and with On Meta, our vision as well as hypothesis is that for Web3 projects to gain mass market adoption, we'll essentially have to deliver Web2 experience in Web3. So mainstream users are going to be more demanding in terms of they'll want the benefits of the decentralized world along with the sleek, native, quick, instant user experience that they're used to from the Web2 world. So that's the bridge that we are trying to create. Essentially, like if you'll ask me like what's the elevator pitch for OnMeta, it's we are like the quickest bridge between the decentralized world and the centralized world. Is what we're trying to build. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. And so, when did you guys first like start out on this idea? How many people are involved with On Meta? Like, what's kind of wondering what the journey has looked like for you guys so far.
So Bharat and Krishna, who are the co-founders, they started thinking about this back in July last year, and essentially the core um, sort of guiding point for starting on Meta was that um, looking at looking at the Indian crypto ecosystem in a binary, which is that uh, either we believe that India is going to ban crypto, then in that case, all the developers and we, like all of us, should like just move to Goa, buy a beach house, sip margaritas all day, uh, and stop building altogether, right? Because crypto is going to be banned in India. Or we say that if that's not going to happen, can we imagine a world where crypto adoption grows in India and without any on-ramp, off-ramp solution, which can enable people to buy or sell tokens through INR, for example. Uh, so that's where the whole journey started. Then these guys started working. We launched the product in March early this year, and since then there are about 10 dApps, mostly India focused, who are using on Meta's on-ramp solution primarily. We just launched our off-ramp solution last month as well. Um, and so far, we've processed 1 million plus US 1 million USD plus worth of transactions through on Meta product. And the sort of problem that we are trying to solve, again, like going back to the principle of bringing the Web2 UX in Web3, is that even today with existing off ramps, on ramp off ramp solutions, you would see that because they rely on working with exchanges, the usually the payments are processed in like 5 to 10 minutes on an average. And while the crypto native audience might be okay with that kind of experience, once mainstream adoption happens, that won't be an acceptable experience because people are just used to like instant payments, right? Like UPI, for example, in India takes like seconds, 5 to 10 seconds for the payment to get processed. And if it goes beyond that, people start getting jittery, right? And uh, but what OnMeta is doing is, because we work both with the central exchanges, as well as we are integrated with all the leading dexes like Uniswap, 1inch, 0x, etc. Uh, we follow a hybrid approach, and through that, 91% of the transactions that we have processed so far have been processed in less than 60 seconds. Um, sure, this is not exactly the Web2 experience, but it's much closer to it than what is currently out there. And we believe that this is going to be an important driver in building trust with any Web3 project that retail users want to interact with, because the core principle of user onboarding is essentially making sure that your users achieve their goal um, fast enough in the quickest amount of time, so that they can get that gratification of the platform, right? And if in that user onboarding phase you are able to deliver this kind of an experience, then it just instantly contributes to do the trust equation between the user and the platform. um, and that's what we are trying to solve for. In addition to that, like, our vision is to become a fully interoperable, a full stack solution where we are able to support all major fiat currencies that are important crypto markets, and all major blockchains and the tokens that are there on those blockchains. So right now we started with INR on the fiat side, and we support Polygon, Ethereum, and Binance on the crypto side. But we are actively, aggressively working on expanding the reach towards becoming a full stack solution where we support
Sorry, you cut out there at the end. But yeah, no, that's incredible what you guys are doing. I definitely think it's a very
trying
good
to
mission statement, like trying to have that great Web 2 to Web 3 like finality, like quick on ramping, like the number over 90% of the transactions you guys have done being like under 60 seconds. That's super impressive. So I'm like curious, like just like how this all works. Like if I were to go try and spend some INR to like buy some crypto, like what coins would I have access to? What networks? Like what? How does that all work?
so the so first of all, like, the best part of our product is that you have access to all the tokens that are supported on any particular blockchain. So right now, even with just three blockchains that we are integrated with, even if, like, there are any smaller projects, native tokens, we support integration for those. So to give you an example of, and also to give you a flavor of the user experience, perhaps I can also play a video later in the session. Uh, is There's this game based in India called Poly Sports. They have a fantasy cricket fantasy game inbuilt, and in order to play that game, to make your team and join a contest, you need to have the native token of the platform, which is PS1. Now, currently, like, they're integrating with us, and like before our integration, the user experience was that you had to go in an exchange first, buy some stable coins or some, like, USDC or ETH or Bitcoin, etc., right? uh, then transfer those into a non-custodial wallet, then figure out which DEX PS1 is on, go to that DEX and do a token swap, and then get those PS1 and come back to the Polysports app and then interact with the app, which is, as you can imagine, a very fragmented experience for the user, and there are multiple touch points where the user can drop off, which is not beneficial either for the user and both for the platform as well. Whereas with on-meta integration, the user can just, like, there's like a buy PS1 button within the Polysports app. Once the user click on that, the on meta widget pops up, and they can make the payment through UPI, which is the most popular payment method in India. uh, Once we confirm the receipt of the payment, fiat payment, in our bank account, we automatically fetch the wallet address of the user from the client, and then we deposit the requisite amount of tokens in uh, in the user's wallet. So how do we do that? Is something I alluded to earlier. We follow a hybrid approach in terms of processing transactions. So we maintain a small liquidity pool ourselves uh, in stable coins, so USDC, USDT. We source that liquidity locally through the exchanges in India, for example, for INR support, and similarly for other geos. Uh, and when, for example, the user request is, let's say, in these tokens, USDC, USDT, then we instantly just transfer the tokens to the user's wallet. Uh, and if there is any other token that is being requested, then we trigger a token swap with the DEX integrations that we have. Uh, and and an overall level, we also work with, like, we also, what some of the other on ramp off ramp players do is they work on like a buy sell P2P kind of a model with exchanges. So we also do that, but we have a hybrid strategy. For smaller transactions, we just process them through our own liquidity pool. For larger transactions, we rely on the exchanges for the P2P flow. So through that, we are able to provide a much faster, a much quicker payment experience, as well as much wider token coverage than the existing on-ramp, off-ramp solutions.
Yeah, that's phenomenal. That makes a lot of sense regarding gaming. Like that would be a huge application for your on ramping solution. You know, like I look at gaming and I think it's like one of the
So
huge
gaming,
verticals.
metaverses, social networks, creator economy platforms. So smaller, upcoming new projects which also have their native tokens. Right? It's going to take a while for their tokens to become popular enough to get listed on exchanges. Uh, and how do they even get there, right? So our solution, because it kind of like democratizes the whole process, it allows even the most like new project, like for example Polysport, right? Like it's fairly new. It's like just they're even launching their pro version like by the end of this month. uh, but we can support on ramp off ramp for that, right? So it sort of gives platform for these young upcoming new projects as well. And I think in order to grow the ecosystem, it's not just going to be like, the top tokens that are going to grow the ecosystem. It's going to be everyone, right? So that's what again we're trying to facilitate.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
yes,
It makes a lot of sense.
gaming is definitely one of the biggest use cases that we're trying to uh, support.
Yeah, for sure. And like I look at Polygon specifically, and we're trying to like bring mass adoption to Ethereum, onboard the next 1 billion users, and so we look at gaming as something that's going to be like a huge vertical and like really help onboard people because you know it is the largest entertainment industry in terms of revenue, right? But like why are people going to play like all of these Web3 games if the on ramping services suck, right? Like you said, it's all fragmented. If you have to like buy on an exchange, then withdraw to a wallet, then swap on a DEX, and it's just like a huge process, right, to even get in the game. Um, and you know, you guys are making it more seamless, like kind of like how Web2 experiences are. Yeah, it's phenomenal. Um, so one thing I'm wondering is like your target audience, like are you specifically like focused on like becoming the number one like on ramping solution in India, or are you like focused on other countries and currencies as well, or are you just like so like what what's the plan there?
Sure. Yeah. So see, the eventual play is like in an ideal state scenario, like 6 months to 12 months from now, we'd want to be a complete full stack interoperable solution like that we are supporting all the major fiats and all the major blockchains. But how do we get there is interesting in the sense that we want to crack the tougher nets, the harder markets first. So we want to go to developing markets. So we started from India, but we want to go to other developing markets like, for example, Philippines, Indonesia, Nigeria, where again the regulatory environment is not that mature, the laws are not that very clear. It takes someone to go figure out uh, how to build support for those markets as well as build relationships in order to be able to sustain that. Um, so that's what we want to do. We want to first bring on board these massive, massive uh, Web3 markets, which are currently not on like not part of the ecosystem. Like I'll just give you a very small example. Like how do you buy the SLP token on like which is used in Axie through INR, or for example the Philippines peso or Vietnamese dong? Right? Today you can't. And do you not want that for the ecosystem to grow? Of course you do. So someone has to go do that, right? And once we are able to crack these harder markets, then we can always go and apply for the licenses in the mature markets like the US, UK, and like the more Western and mature markets. The idea is, like I said, for a developer, if they come and integrate with Onmeta, they should be like, I'm done. I don't need to have a multi-market strategy in place. I can add other on-ramp off-ramp solutions for redundancies in my system, but I don't need to. And today, something like that doesn't exist because, again, like what's and respectfully so, what some of the other players have done remarkably well is build solid foundations in some of these mature markets. But because it's hard to understand and operate in and thrive in these developing markets, for example, Ukraine, Russia, like they're part of Europe. Who's building for them, right? So someone has to go figure out things and like bring these markets on board. That is how, see, I like these, all of us have this shared vision, right? Like we want 1 billion users in the Web3 ecosystem, but how is that going to happen? Right? It's not just going to be like the US or the UK or the Eurozone, right? Like it's going to be the entire planet. And a lot of these markets are thriving, but we just need to build those bridges uh, for them to be really, really thriving in the ecosystem. And that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah, most definitely. Those are some really good points that you're making, and yeah, definitely some innovations that need to happen, which you guys are tackling. Um, cool. So I'm wondering, like, if you're open to it, you're welcome to like screen share and showcase anything you'd like about on Meta.
Yeah, actually, I'm on a little like not very great network. I've actually posted the YouTube channel link here. If
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's
if you
perfect.
if you can like just open that and I can help you understand which video to play. If you can help me out with that, be that'll be great.
Yeah, for sure. I could do that. Yeah. Which one did you want?
Did you open the channel?
Yeah. Here, give me a sec.
So there's this video called
Screen two.
on ramping with PS1 in MetaMask wallet.
Let me see if I can. Oops.
There's this
Oh
video about
no.
PS1. It's about 2 minutes long. PS1.
Yeah, just one moment. I think I broke my um Twitch stream, but there we go. This looks like it fixed it. And then it's swap to. All right, perfect. So which one? Sorry,
There'll be a video about PS1. It's about
purchasing
2 minutes long.
PS1 with on Meta.
Yes.
Cool. Yes, all
So
right.
just a quick note, this video is actually like real time. So this about 2 minutes long, and you will see that the transaction happens in actually like a minute. Um, so yeah.
Wait, and everyone sees this, okay?
Yeah.
Epic. Was there any other ones
You've likely
you
seen
wanted me to
videos
play?
on YouTube.
Or was that the main one?
There's one about off-ramp as well. So off-ramp of Matic, the last one.
This one here.
Yeah.
All right. Fantastic. That's a super efficient on ramp, on and off ramping solution.
Hey guys.
Yeah, so as you can see, right, like both these videos are real time, and you saw that the transactions got processed in like a minute. And so this is the kind of experience that you want to deliver. And like, we're not like a B2C business. We never intend to be one. We're a fully B2B enterprise solution, and our only goal is to help these dApps have this native, sleek, quick experience on their platforms, so that it's kind of like we take care of this for you so that you can focus on your core business and not worry about regulations and like on-ramp, off-ramp rails. We have this plug-and-play solution for you. You focus on the kind of experience that you want to deliver and the kind of the gameplay or the kind of tokenomics that you want to have in your platform, and stop worrying about these peripheral auxiliary services that can easily be taken care of by someone like us.
Yeah, absolutely. We got a question coming in from my boy Foxy. He says, "What's the unique use case here? Binance and the likes already has pretty diverse on ramp and off ramp solution, and I think what you said about this was that essentially, like if I were to want to onboard like or buy a unique token with fiat, like say it was like some gaming token like Polysports, um, I would have to buy crypto on the exchange and then withdraw to like a self custodial wallet and then buy that token on the DEX, and then I would finally have it, and that's like a super fragmented process because it's like like multiple transactions on the SEX, DEX, like withdrawal, like the whole shebang. Whereas with the on ramping solution, like Onmeta, I could just go right on the website, hit buy the token, like do the fiat purchase, and it goes right to my wallet. Like, so it just like it essentially just streamlines the process a lot, makes it way more efficient. It's like buying from the Xbox store instead of like buy, the whole Binance withdrawal process, right? Like I answered that
So
correctly.
essentially three things. Right, Donji? So first, INR as a fiat. If you wanted to do any of this with INR as a fiat currency, right now on Meta is fortunately or unfortunately the only solution out there. Right? Period. That's number one. Number two, but that's not the only thing, right? We want to be a fully interoperable solution. Number two, it's super quick, right? So it, like I showed you, it takes like a minute versus Binance or every other solution out there, exchanges, on ramp, off ramp, they take about like 5 to 10 minutes. That's the best case scenario. So that's number two. And number three, it's all native. The user never needs to leave your dApp. Uh, Everything happens with an iframe support within your dApp. So the drop-offs are least, and you don't unnecessarily lose your business to like just because the user has to do these n number of steps. So those are three things. Yeah.
Yeah, Poople, great name, has a great question as well. He's wondering what fees does OnMeta charge? Like, so I don't know. Maybe you want to compare it to like something like Binance or KuCoin. Like, what fees do you guys charge?
So for on-ramp, we charge 3% on every transaction, and for off-ramp, we charge 1.5%. But obviously, if you reach out to us and like be nice to us and deliver us good volumes, and we have friends, we can always offer you better rates. But these are the standard. And if you want to compare with the market, like the going rate is about 4 to 4.5% for on-ramp and 2.5 to 3% for off-ramp. So we are much cheaper compared to what is already out there, but that's not what we want to build our solution on. Like that's just a byproduct of working with us. Our main objective is to make the experience as smooth as possible for the users.
Yeah, for sure. And you mentioned that you like cover a wide variety of tokens. So I guess like what I have like a few questions coming from like the perspective of like a developer. Like say I had my own project, my own like play to earn game project. Like how easy would it be to partner up with you guys and integrate you guys as an on ramp solution for my game or my dApp?
So God's honest truth, the widget integration just take 2 hours of for one engineer to like do both on ramp and off ramp. It's just that straightforward. The API integration takes 2 days. Uh, it's super quick, it's super straightforward. We are always there to work with you. Uh, and there are a whole lot of customizations that we've built in the platform, ranging from if your product wants or demands like a full suite of tokens to be displayed to the users to the drop down, we can do that uh, all the way, versus if you want to like hide completely the crypto aspect or token aspect of it and just like have a default USDC flow or any particular token flow, but hide that from the UI or UX for the user, we can do that as well. You can choose to absorb that on meta transaction fee yourself. You can choose to pass it on to the user. So our solution allows for a whole lot of flexibility for how these dApps want to craft the experience for their own set of users.
Sweet. Who are like some of your apart from that poly sports game, like who are some of the like big dApps that you guys have been integrated with, or like what are some dApps that you're hoping to be integrated with?
Right now, most of the dApps that we are working with are either based in India and focus on India as a primary market, or global dApps who also see India as a huge and important market for them. Uh, so some of the folks that we already count as our clients are in terms of DeFi. There are folks like Pillow.fund, uh, D Street, Tribe Money, Unifarm. These are all based out of India. Some of the wallets that we are working with are Frontier Wallet, Comet. We're also in talks with MetaMask, uh, and they're in terms of some of the metaverses or social network or like that kind of platforms. Like we're talking to Chingari, is one of the largest social networks within India. Okay. So we like to look at ourselves like Switzerland of the Web3 world. we no matter like going forward, whether it's a DeFi or GameFi or NFTs, though that go big, as long as there's like a fiat to crypto or crypto to transaction that needs to happen, we are there to facilitate that. But we're actively doing, and like I mentioned, these are some of the uh, people that we are working with, and happy to continue to onboard more partners in our ecosystem.
Yeah, for sure. So this is like an infrastructure question. So like with a lot of applications, they'll just kind of let users have access to like a top 10 lists of like tokens or like a small list of blue chip assets, right? Whereas you guys you provide support for like a wider list of assets, like lots of more exotic ones. So I guess Spoople has a question. They're wondering, are the dApps generally providing their own liquidity, or do you source it via specific exchanges? Like if I were to come and like buy the Poly Sports token, for example, like how does that work? Like do you like purchase it for me from like an LP, or do you like already have the liquidity there to supply? Like I don't know, how does that all work? The process of that.
Yeah, no, so sure. Thanks for the question. So we maintain liquidity in stable coins and source locally for each fiat market that we support. For example, for India, we source all our stablecoin liquidity locally through Indian exchanges. And for particular native tokens, right, we have the flexibility that if, for example, again going back to the Polysports example, if they are integrated, for example, their liquidity is on Uniswap and we are already integrated with them, so we can always do a token swap and facilitate that transaction. Or if Polysports want to inject some of their own PS1 liquidity in our treasury wallet, then they can do that as well, and then our transaction can even be faster because we don't have to do the swap. So we have again that flexibility for any of the dApps. Again, like for example, like Chingari, right? Like if they want to inject Gari token liquidity in our wallet, then they can do that. And so again, we are flexible that way.
Okay, thank you. Um, cool. What do you currently like see in the roadmap for you guys? Like, what's in the pipeline? What can people expect in the future?
So in the nearest future, the people can expect us to complete our suite of offerings, both like I said, in terms of all the major fiats and all the major blockchains and the tokens across those blockchains. That's the first goal. And then the idea is to figure out, apart from the plain vanilla on-ramp, off-ramp solution that we have, what else can we do for the ecosystem and for the community, right? Are there additional tools that can be built within the Onmeta offering, uh, which can help dApps? So for example, like I'll give you an example, right? So one of the constant feedback that we keep getting from our clients is like, how can we help them in growing their user base? How can we bring them more users, right? And uh, especially in markets like India and other developing markets, like again, fortunately, unfortunately, one of the main drivers of growth remains to be like discounts and cashbacks. So keeping that in mind, we have built a feature where as a dApp, you can run cashback campaigns through the OnMeta solution where for example, instead of anytime a user like buys 100 INR worth of tokens, instead of them getting 100 INR worth of tokens, they get 110 INR worth of token, and that extra 10% is sponsored by you. So you have that capability. Uh, Again, this is like a feature that again can be used to, because again these are the drivers, these are the levers that can be used by these dApps to grow their user base in developing markets, and we'll continue to listen to them, understand what else can we build uh, in terms of financial tools for them to thrive, so that again they can continue to focus on their core business and not get bothered by these peripheral problems.
Definitely. What are your thoughts on the upcoming merge?
To be very honest, I'm still learning about it. Uh, I actually have bookmarked quite a lot of articles for me to read tonight, and generally, see, I think it's an important step in terms of both like lowering the cost and driving a wider adoption, but how exactly it's going to affect different types of dApps, different kind of protocols, infra companies like ours, is something I'm still learning. So I won't be as bold as commenting something about that.
Oh, fair enough, fair enough. Yeah, I think in the long run it'll ultimately just bring more people to
See, I'll
Ethereum.
leave you. I'll leave you guys with something, right? So see, there are about like if you stretch the number, there are about 2 billion users in for e-commerce, right? Uh, when we get to that scale, if we get to that scale within the Web3 ecosystem, it's going to be a lot more like our current capacity is just not enough, right, to sustain that. So there's going to be a lot of development that's going to need to happen in terms of L1 chains, L2 solutions, infra. Uh, we've barely scratched the surface, right? There's nothing when it comes to like what it could be.
Definitely, yeah, we're all still super early. Feels good. Um, yeah, what are you most excited for about like Web3? Like what kind of things are you most into?
So I'm really bullish on gaming. I think it's again not just from a Web 2 or Web 3 perspective. I think gaming as an ecosystem, as a utility, is is a lot, right? It's something very useful, and a lot of people like try to like spend their time through this, and I think there's a lot there's a lot of creativity, there's a lot of gameplay complexities that people are building out there, and I think Web3 could be a good enabler to let those creative energies out. And I'm really bullish on the gaming ecosystem, and even on Meta, like we love to build for that ecosystem in particular, right? So like the wide token coverage that we offer, that is exactly tailored towards that ecosystem. Like even the smallest, the newest gaming project, if they have a native token, they don't need to worry. We've got their back.
That's great to know. Definitely something to keep in mind as more projects continue to build on Polygon. And I see you've dropped your Calendly there, so that's great. Um, I've also
Yeah, I thought that'd be interesting if anyone wants to like reach out and like set up more time and talk separately. Folks can do that.
Dude, that's so kind of you. Honestly, that's got to be one of my favorite things about Web3. Like in Web2, I would never end up probably never talking to like Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk or Bill Gates or any of like the big names. But in like Web3, like people that are like the heads of these protocols or like lead developers, whatever, they're actually like pretty easy to contact and reach. It's like cool that Foxy. It's like I just had a meeting with Elon. But no, it's just Web3. Everyone's so social, and it's we're just like all interconnected by the internet globally, and I don't know. I love it. It's a great space.
Definitely. That's got to be the coolest aspect of this whole thing, right? Like how much folks are willing to go above and beyond to help uh, other folks. It's just fascinating.
Yeah, like that's that too. It's like way more collaboration instead of like everyone competing with each other. It's we're all like trying to help each other grow and be like mutually beneficial relationships. It's definitely one of the things that gets me most fired up about Web3. Um,
Yeah, yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah, I'm just forwarding. I've got your other links as well. So we got your Calendly, um, your website, Twitter, Telegram, Discord, and I included LinkedIn too because I actually like LinkedIn. Um, and yeah, I'll make sure to include your Calendly link in the YouTube description.
Awesome, awesome. No, this is being great, and we still have a little bit more time. Would love to answer any queries, any questions, or just like love to get to know about what folks are building, and if there are any ways we can help in their journey.
Yeah, absolutely. Is there anything that you wanted to talk about already that you haven't talked about already?
Uh, uh, no, I think I've covered most of what I wanted to. In the end, it comes down to, see, we're all product builders, we're all product managers in some capacity, and at the end of the day, it's about uh, time to market and product market fit, and whatever gets you there. If you think that uh, due to the nature of your DApp, you need to build out certain solutions for yourself, for sure. And if you feel that there are plug and play solutions like ours that exist, which can accelerate your journey, then you should make use of that. These, I think, for us particularly, I think we are. Again, really bullish on the developing markets. There is no way uh, you're going to leave out 17% of the world's population from a revolution. It's not a revolution without them, for example. so so yeah, that's what you're trying to enable, and happy to work with any folks along the way.
Yeah, absolutely. I've enjoyed hearing your philosophy on the future outlook of things. I think it makes a lot of sense, everything you're saying. And I'll definitely keep in mind, like, Onmeta as an on ramping and off ramping solution for all the projects that I'll be talking to in future. So,
Thanks, man.
yeah, absolutely. Well, if anyone else has any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. I feel like I've basically had all my questions answered. We got a really high level overview of everything that you guys are doing. Um,
Are any folks attending Token 2049 event in Singapore? I'm gonna be there, and like, so is Bharat, who's the CEO, and we'd love to say hi and like definitely discuss Web3 blockchain with any of y'all if you're gonna be there. Yeah.
oh, that's a question you should drop in our like Telegram group chat, and then forward it to the team and see if anyone's going.
No, no, not for you, Zonzi. Like, I'm sure Polygon folks are gonna be there, someone.
Most
So
definitely.
it's more a question for other folks on this call.
Well, if you guys are going, definitely reach out. Even if you're not going, reach out. Make sure you jump in the on Meta Discord, Telegram, get involved.
Yep. Yep. And I mean, just for the incredible support from Polygon, like we are already live on Polygon Village, and we're also supporting the Polygon Wonders program. Uh, Definitely always on the lookout for any collaboration with awesome folks at Polygon.
Fantastic, man. It's great to hear that you're building through the bear market, build the dip.
We must build, right? We must hold and we must build.
100%. My hands are made out of diamonds.
Yeah, yeah. We get to like catch up with uh, folks in real life, but this was great, guys. Thanks a lot again. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been great meeting you, Prateek. Really enjoyed this session. Thanks for your time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
Hope you
and
guys have a good weekend.
thank you everybody who came out and tuned in. Great having all of you here, and yeah, I hope you all have a awesome weekend. Stay safe. Looking forward to seeing you all again sometime. Bye now.
Ciao. Take care.